Hello, hello. Sorry we're late. Had a little bit of back pain that we had to work with.
I'm so sorry.
And no, it's not innuendo. It's actual back pain.
It's back pain and you can't hire a masseur because of the quarantine. Oh, whoa, oh, whoa. But not oh.
There was a
whoa.
time I thought whoa and all that was the UWU that was spreading online. Then I realized later that's supposed to be more cutie.
Ooh.
Oh, generational differences. They'll catch you off guard. So yeah, we're starting in a few minutes. Monitor checking.
Yeah, I'm pulling up. The things. Still, no, it's still tender. And then if I twist too much, it's still painful. I feel like I want to attack it with more yoga tomorrow.
You should rest.
Let's rest.
It's either you rest it or we, because it's not swollen, so we shouldn't pull. At least that's what I remember.
Yeah, there's no parang inflammation.
Yeah, it's not
to deal
swelling,
with.
so it shouldn't.
So
be pulled
heat,
over. Yeah, to encourage
circulation. So we do the hot pillow thing.
That's an option. Hey Mitch, hey Urim. Sorry we're late. So yeah, Rocky had a little bit of back pain. So I had to see if I could find if it was lamig or if it was something else. And thankfully it might have been just yoga strain.
Or burpee strain.
It's possible.
It's many. I have many workouts. I will concede that much.
And it's not just that you have many workouts. You also have no rest days.
I rest. I do yoga. It's relaxing.
Rest days.
Yes. But yeah, I'll keep this quick. I know you're still finishing work. My gosh.
Yeah.
It's one of those days.
It's one of those days. But it could be worse.
Yeah.
See, the intercostal muscles connect the ribs and help make the chest wall. When these muscles overstretch or tear, they can cause significant pain in the mid-upper back. It's the most common injury in athletics and hard labor. Now, since I'm not, forcing you to do hard labor and paying you with dimes, it's obviously athletics.
Paying me with dimes? Who are you, Scrooge McDuck? Well, I think my whole week is gonna feel like a Monday. I'm super, super busy. Oh my god, I'm wearing the wrong shirt.
It's all right. It still works. We're still a pair.
Yeah, but it's King Kong and I'm not Godzilla. We're supposed to be both Godzilla today.
Well, this
I grabbed the wrong neon green.
This outfit is us also, celebrating the ice cream episode.
But that was nice. I'm so out of sorts.
Okay, we might as well start and make the most of this episode because it is stressful, work is not done, and Rocky is in pain. So this is Toby.
And this is Rocky.
And if it's your first time here, welcome to Baduy Pride, our little space on the internet where we talk about anything we want.
It's completely unscripted and not entirely accurate, but at least it's honest. Join us to talk about everything and anything random live.
And if it's not your first time here, thank you so much for joining us again. This is an interesting episode because
I'm in pain.
because we decided to broaden the horizons. Because originally I was suggesting.
Because Toby was okay. No wait, there's multiple layers to today's topic story. First, it was sushi,
Mhm.
and then Toby said it was Mitch's suggestion, and then we look at the suggestion queue, and no one suggested sushi.
So it might have been one of those Mandela effect moments.
I don't know, but Toby's like, but I really thought it was.
I remember it as sushi, sushi teppanyaki, and it was like a sentence.
I think you were just describing the menu we had on Sunday.
Yeah, I think I was remembering my mom's message.
Maybe
And
we're
then
just like she got
wires got
sashimi,
crossed.
teppanyaki,
Yes.
and a mango bravo. So I don't know.
Mitch says the shirt really looks good on you. Yeah.
Thank you.
See, notice nothing about me.
I can't even do that right now. That's painful. It hurts if I twist.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's not your fault. And then
That's on the record. That's not my fault. But yeah,
it's okay. It's just pain.
you really have to cut down and let it rest.
No. I'm so heavy but this week because of your mango bravo,
Okay. Notice I have not brought it out again.
Yeah, but you know what you're doing? You're just extending my non-ketosis week because we're going to eat the other half, and then my journey back to ketosis will only start.
Let's bring it out now.
No,
Let's
it's
finish it.
fasting window already.
All these rules.
My life is full of rules. Okay, so we're talking about Japanese food. Episode in pain.
So, Japanese food. I know I shared this already before, but my earliest, well, not earliest, but my most prominent memory of Japanese food was wanting to celebrate my aunt's birthday at the Kiki. And I was determined that we eat out at this Japanese restaurant, which currently is now El Circulo, but it used to be known as some other name.
Okay.
But it was at that corner of Pasong Tamo and Ayala. Is that right? Pasay Road, and
Okay.
the one basically you have the McDonald's where we park,
Okay.
but in that intersection there's a Japanese place that was called El Circulo, but it used to be called something else. I think it was called. Oh my gosh! I
I've
don't
eaten
remember.
at Circulo,
Yeah,
but a company.
and I think we went
event.
there. I think we've gone there as well once.
Yeah.
But it used to be known as something else, and I remember
Something else.
it was the only place I knew of to get Japanese food other than the hotel. Because at that time there were no Japanese.
So that's how
restaurants.
Totobi is.
So-
Where it still dates back to that time when Japanese
Mm.
food was super exclusive.
And I wanted to make it a celebration, so I earned up for it, and we ate there. But I don't, for the life of me, recall what I ate.
I think one of my earliest Japanese stories, Japanese food stories, involved two different restaurants.
Hmm.
First is Tokyo Tokyo. Tokyo Tokyo is fun because my sister and I, it was like one of the first things where we had some allowance money for some reason for that weekend, and we ordered Tokyo Tokyo delivery ourselves.
Mhm.
In fact, how did we figure out how to deliver from Tokyo Tokyo? We looked at the yellow pages, like literally in the phone book, and then we found oh, Tokyo Tokyo can deliver, and we just got like tekamaki,
Mhm.
some sashimi, and the potato balls. That was like it. It was like a super random order, and that became like our regular thing for a while. Like, oh, let's have Japanese, and then we would just order that. The other is Kamameshi House, where that was like the treat, and I can't remember because I know there was the one at QC Circle, that was one.
Mhm.
But there was another location pa where I think it was like on Quezon Avenue or something. I can't remember. But that was like where I first got to try like top rice,
Mhm.
and then it was always like, ooh. Then I think I like tonkatsu, katsudon, but then there was a chicken one, and I always kept going for chicken, and ooh, I like oyakodon. So things like that. And then the other one, I can't remember if it was called Mikimoto or something. Um, because that was the first time we got a sushi boat,
Mm.
and it was really a boat. It was a big special dinner, and it just felt so fancy. Like, ooh, there's a boat full of sushi. Which you kind of see now, like if you go to places like uh, Yaki Mix or something, and then
Mhm.
right, the sashimi is like on giant boats at the
Yes.
buffet
Yes.
area, which like isn't as fun.
And there's always that you wish you could bring them home.
The boat,
Yes. So Mitch asks top 3 Japanese food you can eat every month. Before we answer that, however, Giselle is flooding our stream with hearts. Thank you, Giselle.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yurim shares his earliest memory is a bowl of katsudon and tuna maki in a hole-in-a-wall place with his dad.
Okay.
And then Mitch shares Tokyo Tokyo, first Japanese encounter.
Because
with
right,
food.
because Tokyo was one of the earliest fast food Japanese places here, and yeah, so like but we mainly ordered the teppanyaki,
Mhm.
and that's like my sister's thing. Like she will always order teppanyaki, and beyond that kapamaki because and kapamaki is the cucumber, if I'm not mistaken. Is that or am I translating it right? But basically it's the cucumber maki because my grandma would make it.
Mhm.
My grandma's like, I'll make sushi.
And she wasn't into seafood.
Yeah, but my sister, yeah, that was like she would only eat this, and then my grandma would make, cucumber maki, and she would literally have these huge plates because she would just keep rolling,
Mhm.
and but then when you think about but the cucumber is easy because it's not as perishable as the
Mhm.
fish, so that was fun. But yeah, okay, so
So top
top 3
three
Japanese
Japanese
food you
food.
eat every month.
So I think the first I will already state is sashimi, and even more specific, I'd say tuna more than salmon. Only because salmon, as yummy as it is, there's a faster umai effect. Parang after a few salmon, you're like, okay, that's enough. I feel all the fatty. Compared to tuna,
Unless your body's attuned to keto,
No,
then
yes.
it's like then it's fine. It's fuel. No, but I also like tuna more. And it's funny, like when we try all the fancy tuna, and we're always like, we'll give it a shot. The blue. Oh, okay, that was wrong. I shouldn't have. I should have leaned. Okay, like the bluefin.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna wrap you in
tuna.
bandage.
No, don't wrap me in bandage.
I got the bandage now.
No,
I can do it on there.
no. But yeah, but like whenever it's like the special, don't make me.
You'll
Okay,
be my raw.
number 1, sashimi is not wrapped, so that doesn't make sense.
It's raw.
No.
Okay.
But then whenever we try like the fatty tuna or the bluefin or the yellowtail, it's like it's okay, but I don't know if it's like that much better.
Yeah.
Or is my palate not discerning enough? So I'm just happy with the nice classic tuna belly, maroony.
And then it's sad
tuna.
how octopus never seems to work well.
It's hard. Okay, I think we only like octopus.
Because it's always
At the
been
fancy Japanese place.
Yeah, that's the only time it was really well. Because I guess it was super fresh. Because everywhere else it tends to be rubbery or it tends to be a struggle to chew. And then I think number 2 in terms of Japanese food, it used to be tempura. Until you discover the most places just do so much better. That it doesn't feel as fun.
Okay, but then like if I were to still go for tempura, I miss the tempura all the way at oh my god, what's the Japanese place I would bring you to? In Pasay.
It's in my head. N, letter N. Na bento.
I can't remember it. Oh my gosh. I will have to check. I'm determined to check. Nemoto.
Nemoto. See, I knew it was N.
Good job.
Na bentos. Because they had everything in bentos. In bento meals, yes.
Yeah, so it's not tempura anymore. Then what is it for you?
I'd say uni.
Uni.
Uni is such a, if they don't have it, oh no. But if they have it, bring in the uni.
Which is urchin and
Yeah.
not starfish.
Not starfish. For some reason, I said starfish by mistake.
To his mom. Like, what? We don't eat starfish.
But yeah, uni is pretty good.
And then, and what's your third?
I think for my third, it's tricky because I can say teppanyaki because it's a nice way to round off the
Yeah.
meal. But it feels incomplete without miso. So the soup feels more prominent than the teppanyaki for me.
And everybody has to have miso. Sushigo rules. Yeah. So I'm thinking, to be fair, like even before keto, so sashimi was definitely like I'd always want sashimi. Maki was nice, but then maki was just unnecessarily filling versus like sashimi. I had fun with like actual what shucks, what do you call the sushi that's when it's just resting on the rice? I'm thinking of sushi go.
Yeah, I know. For some reason, I was thinking naginata.
Nigiri.
Nigiri. See, close, naginata.
I speak Toby. Okay, which was fun, but I think it was more like a nice challenge to like how to eat it because then you learn later on you're supposed to like flip it over and whatnot.
And dip it upside down.
And then when we ate at the fancier Japanese
Yes, the
restaurant
one here,
then you know they put like they do that. They put a nice bit of wasabi inside, so
you don't really have to put wasabi.
Yeah,
and then they even have a different. They have that alternate way to put the sauce
with the spray,
with a spritzer if you don't want to risk messing it up.
Okay,
and you don't use chopsticks. You should use your hand.
Well, ideally, which we haven't never gone that far.
Yeah.
Okay. So sashimi is always prominent. I agree with you on miso soup. I think miso soup is like, if you can't have miso soup with your meal,
it doesn't feel
it's
right.
so sad.
And I think that's why I wasn't super happy with those eat-all-you-can places that would have Japanese food. Because usually they wouldn't have miso, or if they did have miso,
it's sad miso.
It's like sinigang miso because it's like super everything's in it, and you don't really taste the miso anymore.
And then beyond that, I mean, like once upon a time, I would say ramen because like I super loved ramen, but then I went on keto, and then when I tried ramen again, then I get to say the stupidest things like, God, it's all noodles. It's just all noodles.
I stupidly, for the longest time, did not include ramen as food to expect in a Japanese restaurant.
Oh, okay.
Because I was so bought into ramen as fast food.
Or like instant.
Yeah.
Right?
So
I think it was like the restaurant that used to be here that really felt like,
and when we were
ramen
there,
is just part of the menu.
We'll order ramen and then this is so much better. And the quality is nice, the flavor balance is great. And it was also there that we learned to appreciate the pickled ginger.
Yes.
So it started with a show.
That's true also.
Admittedly,
the YouTube video about how to enjoy sushi.
We watched the show and they were talking about how the pickled ginger is meant as a palate cleanser. And admittedly, I never liked it before. I was always
like, what is this?
Don't serve it na again. But then when we started trying it, man, the flavors really showed up. I mean, it was strange how different things tasted when we started doing that. And oh my gosh, it was such a life changer that now it's hard to have sashimi without the pickled ginger. And I realized when we had our birthday lunch, we should have gotten the pickled ginger in the ref. I totally forgot.
Further pickling in the ref.
Totally forgot about it.
And then I don't know what my third is. Oh my god, we're still trying to answer the first question. But because like I'm cheating by just saying sashimi in general. But again, if we're just tuna, and then it's miso soup, and then trying to think of not even that. I don't know. I guess teppanyaki then. I guess it's safe, but that's a keto answer, like to say teppanyaki.
Well, me, I always like teppanyaki. It's just that I didn't shy away from the sweeter.
But I feel like
as well.
I feel like the full celebration of teppanyaki was really started with saisaki, the saisaki buffet, and it's like where most of us were exposed to large quantities of Angus beef, and then it was typically the teppanyaki,
and it was for at least people of a certain generation. It's what made other places feel not as good.
Yes.
Because if you've experienced, let's say, sake buffet, and later it became what is the other name?
Saisaki dads and whatnot.
It had a number,
What?
3 restaurants or something like that.
Triple V?
Yeah, I think it was Triple V.
Triple V.
Yeah, Triple V. See, oh my god, and I think I knew that. I think I knew that.
The special Triple V at
I
Glorieta.
think I had a schoolmate who was like Familia and ganyan. So we used to like go there and
Because that's the names, diba? The
Yes.
V's are the names of the.
so terrible. See, it's
the
names. It's always names. Okay,
Okay.
but I think having experienced that kind of a buffet, it made us a little bit more snobbish when um, other buffet restaurants came out because suddenly there's like, ay, ba't ganun yung level ng
But okay, to be
Food.
fair, Saisaki now doesn't feel as fancy as it used to be.
That's true. Too.
Ever since like it combined with like once it combined with the Triple V stuff, and then you'll always see Saisaki together with dads.
Yes.
Then it's like, oh, it's not as fun anymore. Because
Yeah.
we went there once with like Zeki for his birthday.
Because
and then
me,
it was like,
I remember my earlier memories was still in school
mm,
because my classmate now was related to the family. So we'd step out of school for lunch. Oh, I don't know how we did that in high school. And we'd go to that restaurant. And it was walking distance from the Boss of Makati.
okay.
And there was that, wait, how can we afford this? And then, nako na bahala. And then we just all eat our friends.
Oh wow, that's fancy.
And then when the bill comes up, he'll be like, pakisabi na lang tayo.
Wow, because we'd only go for like super special, especially because we go to the big Saisaki and Etsa. Those same when we went with Zeki.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, quick.
So Urim says
Yeah.
tuna sashimi, chirashidon, and unidon.
Chirashidon is what again?
It's the sashimi on rice.
Yes.
It's like it used to be our default.
Yes, and then unidon. Yes, I remember Urim kept ordering unidon, and I was always slightly jealous, but I felt I get umay
Mm.
because I really
Umay.
liked our chirashidon
Yeah.
with all the mixes.
Then Mitch says chirashidon, beef teppanyaki, and okonomiyaki.
Is okonomiyaki the egg, the scrambled egg?
No, yeah, the fry with veggies.
Yeah.
And then Urim says octopus is very tricky to prepare. It could be rubbery if overcooked, which is most of the time. And I don't even think it's necessarily overcooked. But then it was cooked early, let the sit,
Yeah.
and then it
Yeah.
cooks in its own
Mitch
heat or something.
shares funny story. Tried takoyaki outside of Inari Temple, Orange Gate sa Kyoto area. After trying it, natawa siya to realize mas malasa yung takoyaki sa Philippines. But for the win on octopus, yes, because we are super spices.
Mhm.
We have been raised with such mixed palates from Spanish cuisine, Filipino cuisine, etc., that it's hard not to look for more flavors.
Mhm.
We're an MSG country, and people just don't realize it. A lot of people use MSG in different
To
ways.
be fair,
I mean, even natural ones,
I don't-
tomatoes and
a previous office mate
mushrooms.
had a takoyaki frying pan machine thing. And then, so one night, we had a takoyaki night at the office.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
And she brought octopus.
Yes.
And it was like, oh my God, this is what takoyaki is supposed to be. It's like what we experience in the mall is not the same.
it's not the same.
But oh my God. Okay. So and takoyaki is like I'm definitely like it's in the camp of I probably can't eat it now because it's
Mhm.
the batter element is not super keto. So
Continuing through, there was mentions earlier to answer our questions. Nigiri, Triple V, Fancy Classmate. I cannot say the name, but it's a prominent name. It's one of those last names. If I mention it, you
it starts with a V.
start with the B.
Anyway, Kenny's on YouTube and says Japanese curry got him interested in different curry dishes. Also, spicy food doesn't have to be one note. Oh, I miss
Okay.
Japanese curry.
Okay, that is again another. Wait, this is also Japanese for me. I will admit that already. And that's because of the restaurant we went to.
Yeah. Oh my God, what's it called now?
Letter C.
It's all these letters.
CH.
Are you sure? CH. Okay, let's find out.
Coco Ichiban.
Okay, there was a C, and I guess there was an H in there. Coco Ichibanya.
See, but that's how my brain works. I remember key portions of the name. That's the filing cabinet of my brain.
And we used to go a lot. And then I would
And that's also where we learned to really celebrate
the
pickle.
curry. Oh, and the pickle also.
Yes, because we really mixed it into the curry, and we're like, this is good. Can we have more? And then they kept giving us so much. And then
And that branch pa naman, parang they maintain the pickled stuff at like a small quantity. Para it doesn't, get
Yeah.
exposed too much. And then, but yeah, then we were just like, can we get another? Or we grab the one from the
Yeah.
next table.
we had no shame. But I think they were also happy because we always
But we were super enjoyed
and
it.
we always did.
Yeah, and it was like a fun little set. Then you could decide to get a salad or a soup or a dessert.
I could never avoid getting the
You like a
stuff
little ice cream?
and the little eggplants.
Oh yeah. You get the eggplant and sausage.
The eggplant and sausage.
Or you'd order something and get eggplant.
Yes.
And sometimes the eggplant's in your dish. Sometimes it's on a little dish on the side, which was like weird. What would I get?
You
I think
always stuck to
The clam and spinach, because
Yeah.
I like the spinach
yeah.
flavor.
And then
against the curry.
we never got the I forgot the official word for it, but omelette.
The omo. No, I tried the omo rice, but it wasn't really omo rice. It was
Mm.
just like an egg sitting on top of the rice.
Yeah.
So that didn't feel like legit. Same thing with like the omu rice at UCC.
Mm.
A little better, but then still like
But then I always got the milk tea drink to help with the spice.
Yes, that was also a thing. So it's sad though. Like okay, and this is gonna go back to our weird little theory of when we adopt restaurants. So there are restaurants that we end up eating at regularly, and
Mhm.
then we super love them, but then if things change and we shift away, we find that these restaurants that we super love die shortly after. And to be fair, it balances out because when we're there, we typically arrive when it's empty. And then within 10 minutes of us sitting down, I guarantee you, at least 2 to 3 other tables will
Mhm.
arrive.
And
And
it's
suddenly, like, oh, there's all these people.
and it's been spooky to the point that there have been times we'd eat, and then as we glance up, pila na.
Mm-mm.
And we're
And
like, wait.
it dates back to like Good Better Burger
Mhm.
at SM Cubao,
Yes.
the Mexicali at SM Cubao.
Mhm.
What replaced Good Better Burger? It was a chicken thing.
Yeah.
It was a chicken thing after that, like which we
We
patronized for a while.
tried to patronize that, but that didn't
Yeah.
last.
It's like funny because as long as we like shift away and we stop eating for a while, then it dies like rapidly. It just disappears, and it's like, what the heck happened? So now, over the course of the pandemic, Musashite, which was the Japanese restaurant, that,
Was the one we were keeping alive for
Yeah,
quite some time.
because we'd have ramen and cold noodles and whatnot,
but with the shift to keto,
that's gone.
we kind of stopped going there.
And then the pandemic.
Well,
happened.
we still went there for the days we could like drag Flip or Urim with us.
No,
because
but
at least they can.
but
they can
the last time we ate there nga was like I wasn't keto
Yeah.
yet. So it's been a while. And then we figured like Sina Josh, he would have friends who would go
Mhm.
also on their own.
So we're thinking
So
at least
We've
others adopted
passed
it.
on the responsibility, but then that's gone. And then same thing with Keizo, where we used to have the Shirashi Don and the Unidon. The half of the branch that we were eating at is gone.
Mhm.
It's like a Korean grocery now. So it's like, what the hell, guys? Is this dark power?
So quick comments. Kenny does share, remembers Coco Ichibanya back in college, would spend his internship allowance there. Urim agrees Japanese curry is love. Mitch shares, remembers the cute bento boxes. And then Mitch shares, naalala tuloy the journey, nearly eating, in eating Japanese food, you get that towel that you washed with your hands and that meme of a lady who ate the towel thinking it had to be candy or something, but it's that watered towel that grows.
Oh, I like that. Musashi they did that, right? They would
Yes.
do it's the stupid tiny dehydrated towel, and then they put water.
The
and
hot water and it would open up. And
That's fun.
I did it. I was stressed out by those as well at first. I didn't know what to do with them. I didn't know.
Not eat them.
They look yummy. They look like those uraro Filipino things.
So we miss you, Musashi Tay. We regret that you're gone and you didn't survive the pandemic. We miss you, other half of Keizo.
Mhm.
And then you know what's so funny today? When I went down to get dinner, the dinner delivery, the guy who was also waiting in the lobby naman, had what's this, kimono ken, which is like also where your mom got your the sashimi for the birthday.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, it's you again. So it's just funny.
There is a small degree of still trying to keep um, the sushi place in SMR alive.
Genki sushi,
Yeah.
I think that's gonna survive.
Because I every now and then I try to buy some stuff there that I bring back home for us.
Genki sushi was delightful only because of the novel food delivery
Mhm.
system and how you can rack up a giant bill before you fully realize it.
Mhm.
But now I can't enjoy it as I mean I probably can't enjoy the dining experience as much since I can only eat the sashimi and I can't eat because majority of it is makis and nigiris.
Yeah.
And then same thing with I miss Sakai Sushi.
Mhm.
Sakai Sushi was like one of the few
carousel.
conveyor belt sushi places here. And
Yeah.
I think the last branch we would end up going to was the one in Moa.
Mhm.
Whenever we would whenever I had Transformers to
Yes.
buy or we had an IMAX movie to watch, then we go to Sakai Sushi and Banzai on the train,
Mhm.
and that's always fun. But that's gone. That's gone. My only chance for Sakai Sushi now is like I don't know at Changi Airport or something. If it's still there, I don't even know. Um, how come conveyor belt sushi didn't quite catch on here? What do you think?
I think people. Okay. Um, Filipinos by culture, they don't really pay attention to their money. They're happy to spend, and many even spend more than their means because they would rather do that and worry about it tomorrow than spend smartly.
Okay, that's a valid assessment.
Conveyor belt food makes you think of the price because you're seeing how
and you have to
much you're
count your
spending.
plates.
So that's why the buffets work more than those.
But
Even
isn't it?
if in principle
But
it's the
wasn't it?
same thing.
And that's why Sakai like they had to try to buffet,
Yes.
but it was like a limited time buffet, like
Mhm.
only between this hour and this hour,
Mhm.
which was like her dead hours, which kind of worked.
Because when you go to places like, where in every order you're already tracking the prices, it gets tricky. What I feel sad that didn't last was that place in Makati wherein it was a conglomerate of restaurants. And then when you pay, you just pay one fee with this plastic credit card like thing. And then you just charge anything when you eat in that entire place.
Triple V.
Was that Triple V? No, it wasn't Triple V.
It was
The one with the
also
fixed
Triple
sky.
V.
That was
Triple V also had a unified payment system, and then it was like you would enter that alcove, and then it's their
Oh.
their different restaurants.
I remember Triple V to be different. I remember Triple V to be a 3 restaurant place. So it was more a buffet area. This one was it looked like a nightlife area.
Yeah.
Like stars.
It
and
was
stuff.
dressed up. I
That
know.
was Triple V.
Well, at least the one in Glorieta looked that way. I remember that much. It wasn't street life, you know. Oh my God, what are these? What are these places are bringing up? Want to get some coffee at Dean's Cafe or something, or have a drink at Cable Car?
ANW.
Oh my God. Okay, totally unrelated. Yeah. So these days I can't really. A lot of Japanese food has rice or a lot of sugar, and I can't super enjoy it. So really, sashimi is my best bet. And then to compound that problem is that since sashimi is so expensive by the order or by the
Mhm.
plate, then really I should wait for a buffet. So our best compromise is expensive, which is the Japanese place at Ora,
Mhm.
which is why can't I remember the name right now? But it has a sit down buffet, and that at so and I wonder if they think we're up to something.
Ogetsuhime.
Ogetsuhime. if we're up to some chicanery of some sort, because we're always like ordering sashimi, ordering teppanyaki. We'll get one salmon head, and we'll probably get 2 batches of miso
Yes.
and a plate of edamame.
And then, of course, they'll always ask, "Sir, rice?"
rice? No,
No.
no, 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 no.
And then, "Sir, sushi?"
Tempura or
No.
no. Just the sashimi.
Mhm.
And that what's always funny about the Ogetsuhimu buffet, because like then you're like, how much sashimi do you want? And you have to name the number of pieces of each.
Mhm.
So you don't get a standard.
You don't say an
Plate.
order of sashimi. You have
Yeah.
to say 8 pieces sashimi, another 8 pieces sashimi, another 8 pieces salmon, 8 pieces salmon.
So and we've gotten a little confused the
But I
first few
think that's
times.
because now they're trying to hit that no leftovers rule.
Yeah.
And if it was an order that was a set number, then you'd have people who order because dalawa lang pala kailangan.
But it could have been like, what if the set order was just 4 pieces? You know, they could have just
Yeah,
kept
but
it
ganun pa
small.
rin.
But yeah,
Because someone might just want one more piece and then they get an order and then may 3 left over and then they'll pay extra.
obviously this is not a game of Sushi Go, so it's not super set. But it's a nice treat every now and then. I hope they survive the pandemic. And it's still one of those fancy restaurants where they have lunch service and dinner service and they're closed in the middle. And because our fasting window ends at typically 2 p.m., whenever we arrive there, it's like, sorry, we're closing. So it's like, we can't go there for like our brunch opening meal. We'd have to catch them for dinner. So I don't know when that's going to happen again. Yeah, cannot. I miss takoyaki. That was like fun. You were the one who actually introduced me to takoyaki. I didn't order takoyaki before on my own.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I realized that.
Even though it was just supermarket takoyaki. But that was like, and then that became our thing. Like every time we're at the supermarket, and
Because
then
it's quick. It's a
it was
quick,
a quick
nice meal.
thing.
It felt close enough to having, sitting down to have Japanese food, but it was,
Especially when it's still warm.
Yeah.
And then like, ooh, fresh. And then sometimes we'd have it before grocery, sometimes we'd have it after
and then I
grocery.
think what really made it nice was the bonito flakes.
Yeah, then you see
That
them
just-
dance in the heat
that was
because
always
they're
such
reacting. Yeah.
that was just such a beautiful experience of texture, movement, and flavor.
Okay. What else? What are other? So I mean, you could probably do a whole episode about ramen, but yeah, like I said, my ramen fantasy has been totally broken by keto. And it's not as fun as it used to be.
Oh, there was a time you were enjoying cold ramen.
Yeah, the cold noodles at
Mhm.
at Musashi.
I still struggle to understand
It's interesting, and
why people
it
would
felt
watch that.
like very complicated, deconstructed, because like you have your cold noodles, but you have to dip them into the briny whatever
and then
sauce.
it's supposed to be refreshing.
Yeah, but
It's
it had like a
nice.
nice like feeling. It's like the pop of of the salmon roll on sushi.
Japanese desserts.
So many Japanese restaurants give me ice cream.
So, ice cream seems to be a staple, but very few give a very distinct Japanese feel to the ice cream. It's usually like
It's
just
just
vanilla,
ice cream,
or
strawberry.
they rarely have like there were like some specialty ice creams that was like sesame seed or black
the
sesame.
black thing.
or-
Yeah.
So we rarely had those kinds. I think we had more Japanese flavored ice creams when we ate in Korean places, because then that would have green tea ice cream or
Oh, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
wasabi ice cream. Yeah. And then for the longest time, I associated coffee jelly
As a Japanese
as a
thing.
Japanese thing. Because it was only there that I encountered it when it was in restaurants. And then, coffee jelly.
This sounds like a very pre-Starbucks statement.
Because that was part of the specialty desserts in a Japanese restaurant.
Then I guess the most accessible that feels distinctly Japanese is mochi, right? And
Yeah.
but then I feel like we never quite have like the legit mochi. It's always like the mochi for export that's like practically a candy, or but it's like it stores because it's like sealed, but it's not like the frozen cold one always, despite the prevalence of mochi places. So now I'll never know. Kenny remembers almost choking on his first mochi. Oh, Tom also likes cold ramen.
Mm.
So yeah, mochi is something. I thought Kenny also asked about. It's funny. Mitch in Facebook asked about desserts. Kenny at the same time on YouTube asked about desserts. But in terms of cakes, I don't know. I don't think there's like at least in terms of like what we've experienced. I don't think we've super experienced like a distinctly
I know
Japanese
there
cake.
were cheesecakes
Yeah, I think we've
that
seen
were
those
really,
YouTube videos, right?
really enticing. I think we tried one, but it felt still more like a sponge cake than a cheesecake. I think the closest we had to more cheesecakes was oddly in Singapore in the specialty. You know how in their food court they have those
You're talking about the Takashimaya food court, right?
and
Because
those,
it has
those
so
type-
many things,
yeah.
right?
So you
Yeah,
have
yeah.
those Japanese cheesecakes. you
Oh,
have those-
or the oh my god, what's this? At the basement of Great World City,
Yes,
there was like that
yes.
little Japanese town area thing.
and you can just go crazy trying this and that.
Oh my god, they have the Japanese grocery already. When am I gonna go back? Okay. Then it had a dessert there also that was weird. I can't remember now. It was like an eclair thing. It was like a very long eclair thing.
hmm
That was like what you could drop by for.
or maybe that was their version of a churros thing.
Yeah, parang ganun. But it was like it felt like a giant cream puff, like a stretched out
Yeah.
cream puff. Okay. Tom's like, I think Japanese cakes lean toward the airy types. Yeah, I
Yes.
feel like a lot of that.
And I
You
like
see
that, admittedly. I like how Japanese desserts being airy are like why Jayco is better than Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, and I don't know. Okay, I don't understand people that argue or that complain that Jayco is so sweet compared to Krispy Kreme. What are you talking about? Krispy Kreme is the sugar bomb donuts of the
Mm-mm.
world.
Jayco has that nice airiness because it tries to make the cream filling more prominent than the dough.
Yeah. So I mean, like, I do miss that as donuts. You know, the Jayco at Forbstown is gone. It died na rin.
I used to buy 2 dozen every now and
So
then.
you killed it. You killed it by denying service. That's it. That's the price.
Because
the price you
we'd be like, oh, if you buy, it's like half price, ganyan, ganyan. Or it's like the third
It's
box.
cheaper when you buy it at
Yeah.
two dozen.
So at the
things.
office, I'll ask everyone who wants to buy Jayco. Then they'll all give me their orders. So I'll individually write it down. Then I'll order 2 dozen in addition to that.
Oh, okay.
And then I'll eat 1 dozen at work.
Okay. Speaking of like weird, like distinctly Japanese branded things, I don't understand Tokyo Cheese Factory thing.
The super
whatever.
expensive.
The super expensive cheese place, which is always like a stall in the mall, which has like
We tried it.
yeah, because we received as a gift and like
Yeah.
it was good. I'm not denying it's good, but is it worth the price?
Because it's like 1,000 something for a small round. Yeah, it's around this size, right?
Parang ganun eh. Because like no, the smaller but Tokyo Cheesecake Factory, is that it?
Tokyo milk cheese.
Milk Cheese Factory.
And then supposedly they had really good soft ice cream, but I never got to try it.
Yeah, and we haven't tried all this other stuff. So to be fair, we've only tried what we were given as a gift, which were like the little cheese biscuit things, I think. And looking at this menu, like, what? Wow, there's so many things. But it was something like this, right? It was just like a cheese slice thing.
Yeah.
Wow, they have so many things. They got a lot of the savory stuff. Oh, something like this, like salt and camembert. Well, that's $600. Okay, I can't understand.
Yeah, Mitch agrees. OAM price. Tita.
Is that like a Lego thing? Like it's like super expensive here versus
Or
everywhere
I think
else
it's just
because it's Japanese.
yeah. No, and there is that they try to regulate the prices so that the value of the item is much more prominent as well.
That's
I mean,
also true.
That's the main reason why Japanese food is expensive. Let's face it, you're eating raw fish. And not to say it's easy to prepare it, but it's not that easier to prepare kare-kare. Or there's a lot of steps involved as well in making sure you do it right.
So we welcome Japanese Tokyo Cheesecake Factory as a gift. I think, but we're probably still never gonna buy it for
Yeah,
ourselves.
Giselle does mention here, I think we're paying by the name. And it's not just the name, but it's also the fact that there are imports concerned. I mean, in New York, it's around $30 for a bowl of adobo.
It's true.
I remember there were some friends who were sharing that in Los Angeles, a serving of champurrado is around $25.
Or it's like I was thinking about like whenever like my sister would order pizza in Singapore, and then it could they probably just get like a pepperoni pizza or whatever because that was like the cost effective solution. Whereas here, for a bit more, you can have so many toppings.
Yeah.
And so there's a difference in the scaling of the product.
And then
guys, I never quite understood.
And then, and as much as it's such a delicacy to have sushi and sashimi in Japan, those are street food.
Yeah, true.
So there's a lot of that happening also.
Okay, so Mitch asked, "Did we talk matcha?" We have not officially talked about matcha. So I'm googling to make sure I don't say something stupid because I want to understand the difference also. So matcha, as defined, is finely ground powder of a specially grown and processed green tea leaf.
Yeah. But
So
not all green tea
not all green tea
is
is matcha. It's a subset. Okay. I'm not the biggest fan. I'm not against it, but then like I don't necessarily feel like it's that amazing on its own. It's like it's okay. It's like it's green. It's a light green tea flavor. I get keto. I get matcha keto muffins as part of my triple treat sampler, which I always order. But it's just because so that I don't eat just one flavor all week. It's the chocolate obsession, the matcha, and the ensaymada. And admittedly, the matcha is like the last I eat every time. It's like it's the end of my cycle. I enjoy the ensaymada more. So I don't know.
So quick shares from others. Tom does share Paper Moon's crepe cakes are pretty good.
I like crepe cakes. I like the concept.
I never associated them though as Japanese. I kind of explored crepe cakes.
But that's
more.
also why crepe cakes we really started. We had most at like UCC, which in itself is a very Japanese coffee place.
Oh, I did not realize that.
Yeah, that's why their strongest coffee is the sumiyaki.
I see. And then Kenny shares Antonia's restaurant has a 200 champurrado. Well, that's nothing compared to the 250 little bucket of fish balls that you can buy here in BGC.
Or the deconstructed pulveron.
Yes, there is a place selling deconstructed pulveron.
Actually, there are many places because even what's that? Wildflower has deconstructed.
Well, that's Wildflower.
Yeah. Ooh, shady right there. Giselle says, I like matcha on certain beverages, but overall I'm not a big fan. I think you mostly find me swimming around mocha or chocolate marble. Missing Toby, everyone's so bad. Thanks for the live you guys have today. Oh, no, great. It almost didn't happen because I'm in pain, but the show must go on, and it's just pain. So, so I think like matcha stuff. Because where do we encounter it distinctly as matcha? Typically, it's ice cream, as a cake, in desserts. Now
in drinks.
But then it's like it's a powder sprinkle thing, but it doesn't feel super distinct. And then in all cases, I'm like, it's okay, it's not bad. It's like I'm not against it. I'm not for it.
I think matcha is to Japan. Matcha is the Japanese red velvet.
Which I also don't get.
Yeah. So it's the Philippine salted egg.
Which is different from the rest of the salted egg in this region.
Yeah. I wonder how marketers face that challenge when the salted egg craze hit. But then the Philippines has a very distinct flavor for salted egg.
Yeah.
So I wonder how they were like. I could just imagine the meetings at the table.
It's like salted egg.
Everyone is selling salted egg. We have to have that here. But iba yung salted egg natin. So yeah.
Surprisingly, Irving still seems to be alive at High Street. Not Japanese related,
Well,
I know.
you know, wealthy restaurants.
No, but I just feel bad because like I feel like it's gonna die because we stopped by.
And then you have this, you have places like the Tiger Sugar, and all that.
So Kenny asks that what are other Japanese dessert flavors you've tried? He's a big fan of black sesame.
Mhm.
I can't say that I've tried a lot of stuff. I must admit.
I know I've tried a number of their custards.
Yes.
I can't really distinguish what makes them different. I know there are subtle flavor differences, but for me,
There was a time Toby was obsessed with like he wanted to try Giga pudding,
I still have. I still want.
but
Giga
it's just because of what
pudding. I
it
still
looks
want
like.
Giga pudding,
And how it's just huge,
and it's supposed to be like this big,
like a bucket.
like that tall, and when you shake it, it's like Giga pudding. I think that would be. Oh, I should have mentioned that in my birthday. Like if you had a wish, like someone bring home Giga pudding.
You got the local equivalent. You got taho.
That's true. Taho is
And the
Filipino.
size was just about the size of a Giga pudding
Use the container for.
to make Giga
I
pudding.
can try to make my own Giga pudding. Okay, I know another plan. I'll try to make a Milo Giga pudding. And then what other Japanese desserts?
Giselle misses okonomiyaki.
Okay. Before we end the episode, we have to talk about wasabi
Okay.
and fugu.
Okay.
So first
Oh,
wasabi.
very specific conversation.
I'm super wondering if we did try actual wasabi in that restaurant where we paid extra for supposedly freshly ground wasabi. That's here in BGC. Remember there's that place we're in.
Is this
they had
the
a menu.
grill?
Yeah,
We didn't pay for the fancy one.
we didn't try it.
No, we didn't.
Okay, so we
Because I
haven't tried it.
said we're not going to be able to tell.
Yeah, but I want to tell. I want to experience actual wasabi because
Versus
supposedly
the powder
it's not
premix.
burning. It's supposedly actually sweeter. So I'm very curious to try that, and I want to find a place where we can try it.
Supposedly that place, but then they weren't selling it for the restaurant. They were selling it like it's the stock. It's the stocks, and you have to
Yeah.
use it at home. And like,
But it seemed very interesting.
very intriguing. And then I guess by the same virtue, you want to try fugu.
Fugu is one of my dream dishes. The idea that it's super dangerous, that it can be prepared in such a certain way, and that there's supposed to be just enough poison that you feel the tingle in your nose and lips and tongue, but not enough that it's deadly.
I want
I
to.
want to try that.
I will break keto for like a full legit omakase experience.
Mhm.
But remember, like before keto, I was obsessing and like I wanted to find an omakase, which is really
Yeah.
it's the legit. You sit down and just tell the chef, prepare stuff,
Mhm.
and I'm
And then-
gonna eat it.
And then they'll just create.
And it's
for
a
you.
journey. It's supposed to be a flavor journey, right?
Was that? Was
Essentially,
that
it's a tasting.
yeah.
menu.
Was that what inspired tasting menu?
I would think so. I mean, or it definitely plays a factor because omakase is older than like a tasting menu. But I guess now for like if I'm going if for it to be fully worth breaking keto for, I want to do it in Japan in some
Yes.
hole in the wall restaurant
Mhm.
at midnight. You know that,
And the
that-
guy
that's sort of a
preparing it
deal.
must have a scar.
Oh yeah, right. And then I'm going to wait for like a Power Ranger to show up or something. Sentai. Oh my god. I feel like we should like totally rewatch that entire series because it's so
For
good.
for those who don't know what we're talking about, and you are here because you love Japanese
Midnight Diner,
Look
Tokyo
up
Stories.
food, the show Midnight.
I haven't
Diner,
even
Tokyo
gone to
Stories.
the comic. I should finish the comic.
There are two takes on that show. There
Yes.
is the Netflix series, which was very well done, but there's also the original series.
Well, an older Japanese series
Yeah.
which came to Netflix eventually.
yes,
And it technically takes place before the Netflix
Yeah.
one.
But it
even
does-
in terms of internal chronology,
Mhm.
they work on their own.
Yeah.
But there are characters that cross over, and it makes more sense when you watch the older one and the new. And the
it's-
level of quality is not that different.
and it's one of the few shows where it doesn't struggle to have a conflict. It
It-
just wants to tell a story.
Yeah, and the stories don't necessarily have like conflict.
Yeah,
And
and
then
then the food is fantastic. So it's the closest thing to live action Studio Ghibli movies.
yeah,
In the
that's the
sense
vibe.
of, in the sense of My Neighbor Totoro,
Mm,
wherein it's
mm.
about this person shares their story. We find out what's bothering her or what she wants to do or what he needs to accomplish, and then during that journey, we see how food fits into this
Yeah, it's
narrative.
always tied to like a favorite dish or when I'm stressed, I eat this. Or
So it's very, very fun to watch. It's well worth watching, and it's very peaceful, especially given the pandemic.
okay, yeah, no, I feel like that's a good idea to watch it. We've watched it at least twice now. Because we watched the original Netflix series, loved it, and then when we found out there's the original Japanese series on Netflix, then we watched that. Then we ended up like, oh, then I want to see how it connects to the main story. We watched the Netflix version
Mhm.
again. Such a good thing. But yes, it's one of those shows that will make you hungry, and it's not even like fancy presentation. It's
Yeah.
just a hole in the wall.
But at the same time, it it goes a wide range of stories. There are stories that are very funny. There are stories that are very heartwarming. But there are also stories that touch on very serious matters. But
Mm-mm.
they don't fall into the trap of glamorizing the drama.
Yeah. More often than not, it's like there's an argument, but then when you see them at the restaurant, they're quiet together. They're
Mm.
quiet beside each other and like.
Mm.
Thompson, is that the anime with the magical door to a restaurant
No,
appearing
no.
somewhere? It's not an anime.
It's
a
an
live
actual
action
live
series.
action series.
Midnight Diner. There are two Midnight Diners on Netflix. Check it out. Super good. Super good.
Okay.
Perfect. We should. I wonder if that's an episode. Like, I don't know, comfort watching
Hmm.
in quarantine.
Yeah, I think it will be. But yeah, I think that covers the
Our extent of Japanese food. And
Yeah.
thank you for joining us for another Tuesday where we make you hungry at night.
we have a few more episodes in store for you this week. Wednesday, we are taking a breather as always because likely we will have a show. We will have game to run.
Confirm, we have a game.
Thursday, we are talking about The Sims.
Well, we're talking about the whole range of Sims games, not
Mhm.
just The Sims. And it's coincidental that we just finished the masterclass by Will Wright, the guy behind The Sims
Mhm.
and SimCity and SimAnt and all these things. So that's going to be fun. And then Friday, we're talking about coffee.
Yeah.
Sunday, what did we say for Sunday? I can't remember now. What Sunday? I can't remember what we said for Sunday. Oh,
There. Sunday will be a quarantine check-in episode.
oh yeah,
So
we're
it's
doing
a chance to just make sure everyone's okay. Mitch throws out a final question.
Wasabi and soy sauce, yes or no?
No.
We've learned no. I
Yeah.
mean, before people would do it, but then now we've learned of the purity of not doing it.
And
It's so much better.
yeah, it's not a question of parang is it the right way to do it or it's the proper way to do it. We don't even care about that. We
It-
just realized
It
when we did it,
tastes better.
yeah, it's more distinct. The flavors are nicer, and even the soy sauce, you can distinctly
Yeah, the soy flavors remains distinct from the wasabi.
Yeah.
And then since we're mostly eating sashimi, then it's easier because then it's like you put some in the middle and you fold it
and
then you
and
dip.
more so because you cleanse your palate
with the ginger.
with the ginger first.
Yeah.
So oh my god, life changing! I tell you, life.
And that's why I did enjoy the nigiri at the fancier Japanese restaurants that have their own like touch of wasabi inside.
Mm-mm.
Then by right, you don't need to put anymore, and you're just trusting the chef's balance for
Mhm.
it, and it worked out. It works out. I'm glad that restaurant is still alive. I'm worried, but I think it's fancy enough to survive.
Yeah, it's double the price of anything I wanted to buy
Yeah.
in other places.
You still tried ordering delivery
Still
from them
try.
early in the
They were
pandemic.
very nice and they allowed delivery.
Yeah, and
They have their
now,
own, they have their
now
own
they're
delivery.
legit now. Yeah, now they have legit delivery now.
Mhm.
But yeah, I feel like I wouldn't mind if they had an omakase thing. Then I guess we could try it. Like, cause the quality of their sushi was excellent,
Mhm.
very very good.
You could taste that it was that quality.
You can taste the sea. Okay.
All right. I guess that is our episode for tonight. We have officially hit 1 hour, and
Sorry we're late.
we're sorry again we're late. With this is our chance. We hope you enjoyed us talking and getting very hungry about Japanese food,
But we're in our fasting window, so we can't eat anymore until tomorrow.
and we hope you'll join us again next time.
For questions or suggestions for future episodes, fill up the Google form at bit.ly Baduy Pride Ideas, and we'll make sure it's a legit suggestion and not an imagined suggestion that Toby swears he saw, but it wasn't there.
Maybe it's alternate reality Earth,
I don't know.
one where
You can follow us on Twitter. All Toby, no shade. RG Sweeney.
you can also check out our blog, badaypride.com, for all the previous episodes and stuff about us.
Feel free to continue the conversation in the comments below. What's your favorite Japanese food? How do you eat your sushi? What are your thoughts on the egg custard? Let us know. And then be sure to subscribe for notifications, whether on Facebook or YouTube, so you don't miss our next live stream. Once again, I'm Rocky.
And I'm Toby.
And
This is Baduy Pride.
Have a good